Evaporated Milk presents the George Burns and Gracie Allen Show.
Gracie.
Oh, hello, Blanche. Where are you going all dressed up?
Well, no place now. I changed my mind. I was going to a psychiatrist.
Oh, well, I'm glad you don't have to go. What was wrong? Do your feet hurt?
Oh, no, honey. A psychiatrist is a doctor who helps you when you're emotionally upset.
Oh.
You see, I've had the same dream 5 times now, and it's got me worried.
Oh, yes. Dreams can be terribly disturbing. I had a dream once that I went to a party with nothing on but a hat, and it was awful.
I can imagine.
Yeah, there was another woman wearing the same hat.
Yeah, well, my dream is entirely different. You see, what happens...
Mrs. Burns.
Yes. Oh, that's our new gardener. Yes, Mr. Phillips?
Somebody dug up the geraniums.
Oh, I did that. You'll find them in the garage.
In the garage?
Well, yes. Yesterday, my husband wanted to water the yard, and I didn't want them to get wet.
Did you... Did she...
The garage is right over there. Now, Gracie, to get back to my dream. You see, it seems that Harry and I are on a ship. And the ship sinks. And there I am, struggling in the water, and Harry swims away and leaves me to drown.
Oh. Why don't you take swimming lessons?
No, I'm really worried about this. I wish I had nerve enough to go to a psychiatrist and have it explained.
Well, Blanche, I have a wonderful idea. I'll go and tell him that it's my dream, and when he explains it, I'll tell it to you.
Oh, honey, would you do that for me?
Well, certainly, as soon as I finish this doily.
Gracie? Honey? Wouldn't it be easier if you sewed it the other way?
Oh, well, I'll try. Yeah, you know it is.
Look, honey, why don't you put it down? I'll finish for you later. Here's the doctor's card. Let's go to the psychiatrist,
Oh,
huh?
all right. You give me the address.
Well, now I've seen everything. Gracie going to a psychiatrist with somebody else's problem. That's like sending your girl a box of candy and having Errol Flynn deliver it. You know, this psychiatrist might be able to straighten Gracie out. Yeah, might make her normal. If he does, he's famous. I'll be back selling ties again, but he'll be famous. Sorry Blanche let her go, worrying about a dream. Dreams are silly, they're ridiculous. For instance, when I first started in show business, things were tough. And every night for 2 months, I used to sleep on a park bench. And I said to myself, if I ever get some money, I'm going to get myself a room at the Waldorf Astoria. Got myself some money and got myself a room. And all night long, I dreamed I was sleeping on a park bench. You know, some people are superstitious about dreams. Now, my sister Goldie used to sleep with a piece of wedding cake under a pillow. This is supposed to make you dream about the fella you're going to marry. She kept this cake under her pillow for 6 weeks. Never had a dream, and we finished up with a house full of ants. But it turned out fine. She married the exterminator. Could have been worse. She was engaged to an actor. But I don't laugh at superstitions. Show business are full of them. You know, now take Ed Wynn. Do you know that he still wears the same pair of shoes he wore when he made his first theatrical appearance? He wouldn't walk on the stage without them. And Georgie Jessel wouldn't walk on the stage without a rabbit's foot in his pocket. Danny Kaye carries a lucky coin. I'm superstitious, too. I owe my success to it. I wouldn't walk on the stage without Gracie. I tried it, and they gave me back my pictures. Well, let's go to the psychiatrist's office and see how Gracie's making out.
Is this Dr. Blanchard's office?
Oh, yes.
You have an 11 o'clock appointment with Mrs. Harry Morton?
Yes. Here's a magazine. Wouldn't you like to sit down?
No, thank you. I'd rather sit on a chair.
I'll send the doctor right in.
All right.
Oh, how do you do? I am Dr. Blanchard.
Oh, how do you do? I'm Mrs. Burns.
Oh, well. What may I do for you, Mrs. Burns?
Well, I've had a dream 5 nights in a row, and it's got me worried. I always dream that my husband and I are on a sinking ship, and my husband always swims away and leaves me to drown.
That's all?
Well, yes, that's all I can remember, because that's when the gardener came in and I told him the geraniums were in the garage.
Well, dreams are usually pretty confusing, but you have nothing to worry about. Is that your only problem?
Yes.
Well, then you don't need a psychiatrist. There will be no charge, and thanks for your patronage.
Well, thank you very much.
Just remember that a dream is not necessarily a warning of tragedy. It is merely a form in which our unconscious mind dramatizes a suppressed desire or wish. It is not symptomatic of any underlying phobia or neuroses. Did I say something funny?
Oh, I don't know, but I'm not taking any chances.
Well, perhaps I was a bit too technical. Well, goodbye, Mrs. Burns, and I'm sorry that you made the trip for nothing.
Oh, I didn't make it for nothing. I had to return some pencils to the May Company anyway. I wish you could see what they sold me.
Oh, really?
Well, you know how a pencil has an eraser at this end and a point at this end?
Oh, yes.
Well, these were made all wrong. It had the eraser at this end and the point at the other.
Lie down, Mrs. Burns. I want to talk to you.
If you don't mind, I'd rather sit here. You know, I can talk much better sitting up because then I can see what I'm saying.
Miss Jones.
Yes, Doctor.
Cancel my next 2 appointments. Now, Mrs. Burns, suppose you just tell me all about yourself.
All right. Starting back as far as I can remember or before that?
Well, let's start with your age. How old are you?
Well, I'd rather not tell.
Oh, but I'm a doctor. You can tell me anything.
Anything?
Yes.
I'm 22.
I would like to ask you some questions about your parents. Tell me, did they enjoy good health?
Oh, yes, they loved it.
Now, were there ever any schizophrenics or paranoiacs in your family?
No, just boys and girls.
Oh, then you had brothers and sisters.
No, I wasn't old enough. My mother had them.
Well, suppose you tell me about your... Oh, excuse me just a moment. Yes, Miss Jones?
Doctor, can you step in here for a moment, please?
Oh, yes, of course. Will you pardon me for a moment, Mrs. Burns? I will be right back.
Yes, it's all right. Go right ahead. Dr. Blanchard's office. You want to see the doctor? Well, when did you see him last? Yesterday? Oh, well, there's no sense in seeing him again. He looks the same today. All right, goodbye.
I hope you will pardon the interruption, Mrs. Burns.
Oh, you're not interrupting anything. Sit down.
Now, let's see, where were we? Oh, yes. We were discussing your family.
Oh, had I told you about my brother John?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Well, John is the one who hated to walk. He just stood on his head in the front porch all
Your
day
brother
long.
stood on his head?
Yes, I'll never forget the rainy day. He took his hat off and went wading.
It's a wonder he didn't catch cold.
He did, but it wasn't serious. Dr. Jones just put him to bed and told him to stay off his head for a few days.
You know, I believe I'm missing some of this. Mrs. Burns, I wonder, would you mind stepping in the other office? I have a recording machine.
Oh, I'd love to. Have you any Hawaiian records?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yes, I have hundreds
love
of them.
It's not the island fair that is calling to me.
Oh, Miss Jones, get her husband over here right away. I want to talk to him. Oh, this woman must be handled very delicately.
Hello. Is this Mr. Harry Morton? This is Dr. Blanchard's office. Can you come over? The doctor would like to talk to you about your wife. Yes, it's very urgent. All right, thank you. In a little while.
You notice the way the plot is beginning to unfold? Now, when Harry Morton talks to Dr. Blanchard, he'll think his wife is off a rocker. You know, it's a shame to do a story as great as this just one night on television. All I got to do is add a little music, take it to Broadway, and with the right handling and the right publicity, I got myself a real flop. You can laugh, but some of our biggest flops started this way.
Yoo-hoo, Gracie, are you home?
Oh, we have company again.
Oh, hello, Blanche. Hey, what's all this?
Well, I brought my apple pies over here to make them because I'm dying to hear what the psychiatrist
Oh, well, then you need the oven, and I'll take these
said. No,
out.
honey, don't bother about that. I'll bake them at home.
All right.
Gracie, were those shoes?
George's golf shoes. You know, he says every time he's invited to play golf with the champion of the club, he gets cold feet.
So you're warming his shoes.
Yes.
Say, look, honey, could I borrow a can of carnation milk? I want to make a whipped topping for my pie,
Well,
huh?
of course. You know, Blanche, with world conditions the way they are, isn't it wonderful that these cows can stay contented?
Yeah, you got something there.
Yes.
Oh, well, Gracie, about the psychiatrist, what did he say?
Oh, well, he said that you don't have to worry.
Could you come out here for a moment,
Oh,
please?
it's our God.
Yeah. Gracie,
Yes?
dear, where's your shortening?
It's right there.
Oh, thank you, honey. Oh, that Gracie.
Blanche! Blanche, darling! Where are you, sweetheart?
Can that be my husband? In here, Harry. What's that?
Flowers and candy for the sweet, pretty little girl that I love.
Really? I'd like to meet her.
These are for you. You've been working too hard. You're overworked. You know what you need is a nice trip someplace for a rest. That's what the doctor said.
What doctor?
My doctor, I was over for a general checkup. He said that I should go away on a trip for a rest, and naturally, I wouldn't go any place without you. What are you doing here?
Oh, well, I'm making a couple of apple pies.
Blanche, you shouldn't work like that making those things because you know how much I like apple pies. That's the most Apple pies?
Yeah, I'm trying out a new kind of crust.
I think we ought to go on that trip right away. I'm feeling very tired.
Well, whatever you say, Harry.
Nothing sharp, dear.
What?
Yeah, use the spoon.
Use a spoon.
Yeah. Peel the apples with the spoon. Look, I'll show you. My mother used to always do it that way.
You know something, Harry? I think the doctor's right. I think we do need a rest.
Right.
Yeah.
Hello, Blanche.
Oh, hello, George.
Hi, Harry.
Hello, George.
What are you embroidering?
Peeling apples, George.
Oh?
Yeah, that's the way his mother does it.
With a spoon.
Well, why don't you try it the hard way with a knife, Harry?
Oh, no, nothing sharp. Use the spoon, honey.
Yes, dear. Put that away, please, George.
Oh, by the way, George. Here, but be careful, they're still hot.
Blanche, you're not going to give both my apple pies to George.
These are apple pies?
Of course they're apple pies.
Say, you know something, George? I really baked those especially for Harry, so let's save them for him, huh? And I'll bake you some more tomorrow.
Yeah, well, make mine raisin with low heel. I'll see you later.
Oh, Blanche, they look delicious. So delicious. I'm so lucky to be married to such a wonderful cook.
No. Don't eat them now, dear. Not now. We'll, Oh, I'll tell you what. Look. Just a minute. Now, I'll show you. We'll get some cheese. And we'll put it right there. See? Open the oven door, dear. Now, we'll put them in here. And when the cheese melts, we'll eat them. Okay?
Wonderful idea. I think maybe we ought to go pack.
Yeah. And let's hurry.
Yeah.
Can you follow the plot? See, now Harry thinks Blanche is nuts, and Blanche thinks Harry is nuts, and I'm beginning to wonder about my writers. You see, they write these plots in the elevator going up to my office, and unfortunately, my office is on the second floor. I'll have to get better writers or move up a few lofts. You know, a funny thing about my writing...
Hi, folks. Anybody home?
Oh, sounds like Harry Von Zell.
Hello, Harry.
Hi, Gracie.
Mr. Phillips, lunch is nearly ready.
I'll be in a jiffy, Mrs. Burns.
All right.
And Gracie, who's Mr. Phillips?
He's the new gardener.
Oh.
Oh, I think this needs to be a little richer. I'll put some more carnation in.
Oh, well, here, let me do it.
Oh, all right.
Sure.
Harry, have you got some change?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Will you put it in here, please?
Yeah. What is all this?
Well, the grocer said when you use carnation, you must save money.
Gracie, let me explain about that.
Later, Harry. I want to get Mr. Phillips' lunch ready, and then I've got to go over and comfort poor Blanche.
Poor Blanche? What happened to Blanche?
Well, she just telephoned me some terrible news.
Really?
Yeah, she's just found out that Harry's crazy. Oh, dear. It's hot.
Gracie, you must be kidding.
No, I'm not. Here. See, I told you it was hot.
No. I meant about the news. Why, that's unbelievable.
What's that?
Harry Morton. He's crazy.
Oh, so you've noticed it too, huh?
No, I was repeating what you just said.
Oh, well, don't bother. If I can't remember what I just said, it's not worth repeating.
Gee, Mrs. Burns, shouldn't have gone to all this trouble just for me.
Oh, it's no trouble. It's easy to make wonderful cream soups when you have carnation. Here, help yourself. Now, there's the cream tuna, and there's the tomato soup, and that's Mr. Von Zell.
I'm the dessert.
I'm going over to Blanchard.
Thank you, Mr. Von Zell.
Okay.
How long have you known Mrs. Burns?
Oh, I don't know, Mr. Phillips. I've known Mrs. Burns, I guess, 9 years off and on.
What was she like when she was on?
Oh, boy, how about this soup, huh? Doesn't Carnation give it a good, rich flavor?
It certainly smells good.
You know something? I think everybody should have a hot lunch, especially school children. They get hungry, you know, and they need the extra nourishment that Carnation evaporated milk adds to soup.
Gardeners get hungry, too.
Oh. Of course, there's one thing about it. Will you do something for me? Just notice how smooth and delicious Carnation evaporated milk makes this soup.
I'd love to.
Of course, any food that you prepare with milk, you know, is bound to be richer tasting and more delicious when you use Carnation. Now, look, Mr. Phillips, I want you to be really honest with me. Have you ever tasted a better soup than that?
I don't know.
Well, I can tell you right now, you never have. Here, you know what you do? It's so easy to prepare. You just follow directions on the soup can. Only instead of using regular milk or plain water, you use Carnation, diluted with an equal amount of water. Or for an even creamier soup like this, use Carnation undiluted. Wait a minute. You let your soup get cold. After all I had to say about the importance of hot lunches, you let it get cold. Look, if I fix you some creamed tuna, would you promise to eat it?
Word of honor.
Oh, that's some soap, huh?
Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Phillips. Hi. Sit right down.
Thank you.
I'm fixing up, Mr. Phillips, something really good now, George.
Good.
Yes,
What is he fixing for you?
Having cream tuna.
Made with Carnation evaporated milk.
Oh. You know, I'll bet you that that's the best cream tuna I've ever had. Talkative little man, isn't he?
No, he doesn't talk much. All the fella does is eat.
I must tell you what happened at lunch today. Harry and I were having lunch at the Brown Derby with Edgar Bergen, and Jack Benny joined us. And when the waiter brought the checks, Jack Benny says, I'm buying everybody's lunch. Surprised, huh? So was Jack Benny. You know that Bergen is a great ventriloquist? Excuse me.
Not the balmy air, no, the tropical sea. It's a little
Gracie, can I help you?
No, I know all the words.
Me, can I help you with the table?
No, I can do it.
Oh?
Oh, George, I had a wonderful time this morning.
You did?
Yes, I spent a half hour in an elevator, and you meet the most interesting people.
Spend a half hour in an elevator?
Yes, well, you see, I got to the professional building at 10:30, and I asked a man how to get to Dr. Blanchard's office, and he said, you take the elevator and get off at 11.
And you rode up and down for a half hour?
Yes, oh, and you meet such interesting people. Now, there was a woman got on with a little boy, and she said that he just swallowed a dime.
Well, children will do that.
Yes, and she said that she was going up to the doctor to see what he would do for it. So I said, well, he won't do much. I doubt if he'll even take his pulse for a dime.
Gracie, did you ever meet anybody that had a problem that you couldn't solve?
Well, No, not that I know. Of course, there's some people I haven't met.
About 4 or 5, I guess. What happened in Dr. Blanchard's private office?
Oh, well, you know, when you go to a psychiatrist's office, you lie on a couch, and you're supposed to talk very freely, but that is not true.
Really?
No, when I left, Dr. Blanchard was just lying there, staring up at the ceiling.
Oh, Dr. Blanchard was on the couch.
Yes.
I should have known, yes.
Gracie, can I see you for a minute?
All right, Blanche, now you stay here, because I want to tell you some more.
Ah, don't forget a word. It's very interesting. Okay.
Gracie, you know what I just found out?
What?
Harry isn't crazy at all.
No?
No. He brought me the candy and the flowers because he thought I was crazy. And he's humoring me. He's on his way downtown right now to buy me a pearl necklace.
You mean if your husband thinks you're crazy, he'll buy you presents?
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Blanche.
Yeah? Gracie, how about some dinner?
Oh, George, it's no use. I guess I'm just a bad actress. I wanted you to think I'm crazy.
Gracie, we've been married too long. Just be your sweet, normal self and get some dinner.
All right, it's not the island's fair that is calling to me. It's not the balmy end of
George and Gracie will be back in just a moment. In the meantime, here's something that you homemakers will most certainly appreciate. It not only tells you how to make the most scrumptious cake you ever tasted, but also how to make the most wonderfully smooth and creamy icing. 2 ideas that make the cake in this one recipe leaflet. Incidentally, this recipe leaflet is available at your grocer's free. Sometimes you'll find it in this holder in the section where your grocer ordinarily keeps his carnation evaporated milk, with the little recipe leaflet in this pocket right here. Other stores have special displays of cake mix in carnation where you see this sign. Just go in and help yourself to a helpful hint on how to make better cake and tastier icing with carnation evaporated milk. You see, with any cake mix that calls for milk, you get a high, light, really richly flavored cake by using carnation mixed with an equal amount of water. So you see, ladies, now is an ideal time to get your favorite cake mix that calls for milk, and your supply of carnation evaporated milk. Now, while your grocer is featuring both. So look for the cake mix and carnation display at your grocer's, and remember the little recipe leaflet. And now, Carnation's own contented couple, George and Gracie.
Thank you very much. Gracie and I will be back again 2 weeks from tonight. Hey, that was quite a hula you kicked out there.
Oh, did you like that? I learned that in Hawaii.
Ah, you did, huh?
Remember that trip we took?
Sure, we had a wonderful time.
Say, George,
What?
you know those Hawaiian natives must be awfully rich.
Rich?
Well, we were only there 2 weeks, and it cost us a fortune, and they live there the whole year round.
How about saying good night?
Good night.
In tonight's show, Joseph Kearns appeared as the psychiatrist, Bob Sweeney was the gardener, and Lynn Allen was the nurse. The George Burns and Gracie Allen show will be back again in 2 weeks. This is Harry Bonzell saying good night for Carnation. This is the CBS Television Network.